Hi, everyone. Becky Brett here from the Labyrinth podcast. And it's been a minute since I've done one of these, but I was inspired today by the full moon. Today is March 28th, 2021, to do a full moon reading for us using the mantra of the labyrinth as a basis. This is literally the first time I've done a reading like this using the Labyrinth Oracle cards. These were created by a brother and sister team of Walter and Kathy Pullen. And you may have seen me do some readings, or if you follow me on Instagram, you've seen some of my daily card pulls for my community of artists, content creators, and entrepreneurs. But I've never done a reading quite like this, and so I'm excited to see what comes up. The mantra of the labyrinth is release, receive, return. And especially during the full moon, we are in releasing mode. We are in completion mode. This full moon in particular invites us to focus on who we want to be or how we want to be in the world, the very essence of our identity. And so let's see what the cards show for us. This first stack right here is what we are to release. The second stack is what we are to receive. And the third stack is the return, or what we are to integrate into our lives. And then we'll take a look underneath the deck to see what is anchoring the reading. All right, I've not seen these. This may go well. This may go horribly wrong. But whatever happens is exactly what should happen. So let's go for it. Okay. The first thing we are to, well, I mean, really? All right, this is going to take a sec. We have the 10 of Arches, which is abundance. We have King Henry II, which is trust. And we have Theseus, which is yang energy, or that divine masculine energy. I'm a little hurt that that the first thing we're supposed to release is abundance. And 10 of Arches is it's the culminating number card for Arches. Arches represent action, the actions we take. And so what this is telling me in terms of releasing, because obviously we want to receive abundance, but if we don't, let me try and get this to focus on a little bit better. If we don't release it also and let it flow, abundance can easily turn into hoarding, can't it? So as things come in, it's time to let go of what doesn't serve you anymore. Don't hang on to it out of fear that you won't get more. There's always more. So let go of the things you need to let go of, and let things flow through you. Let that abundance flow through you. Whew. King Henry II. Now this guy, it's not about releasing trust. It's about trust issues with him. So it's about not trusting your relationships, really, is what I'm getting from this. So release that fear of going all in on your relationships. You can trust. You don't have to hold back. You can release the fear of trusting the people and relationships in your life. It's okay. And then Theseus, this yang energy, it's time to receive, right? So let's release that that always pushing, always striving. It doesn't have to be hard. We don't have to work hard to be worthy of our desires. We just need to be receptive and open. And I mean, yes, working is part of it, but I think that a lot of times we put too much emphasis on working hard instead of working in flow. So that is the story of what we are to release. Let go, let things flow through you. It's okay to trust your relationships, and and you can release that fear of going all in on your relationships, and release that need to keep pushing, pushing, pushing. Everything happens in divine timing. Everything happens exactly when and how it needs to, when you allow it. And speaking of allowing, let's go on to receiving. What are we to receive? Well, okay. Really? All right. Receive. The first thing we are to receive is chaos and confusion. Thanks, Labyrinth Oracle. I'll make some sense of that in a sec. The next thing to receive is the Three of Flags, expression, and the King of Flags, or fame. Ooh. Okay, this is kind of juicy. Chaos. Let's start with chaos and confusion. Chaos and confusion. So a lot of times our most inspired ideas come out of the chaos, come out of the confusion. We can pluck inspiration from these moments. So I invite you to, rather than fear chaos right now, receive it with a spirit of curiosity. And what does it make possible for you? That's one of my favorite questions to ask. What does this make possible for me? So take a look at that chaos, dive into it, and pull out of it your inspiration. Now, the Three of Flags, flags are all about how we express ourselves. And the Three of Flags is definitely about self-expression. So this is the time to show up fully as yourself in public, on social media, in your relationships. Show up fully as yourself. You don't need to be afraid of this. Dance, draw, do what you want to express yourself here. And then this leads us to the King of Flags, or fame. Now, look, I know not all of us want to be famous. It's not about that. It's about taking your place, taking up space, taking your place and taking up space in the world. The world needs whatever it is you have to offer. And I think a lot of us hold ourselves back because we're afraid of being too much or taking up too much space, or whatever society has told us is wrong about that. So it's not about fame. It's about what you do with your fame. And now is the time to receive those accolades, receive the spotlight, and use it for good. I love this story. See, it started out kind of wonky and scary with that chaos card, but you know what? When you can choose to see things however you want. You can choose to see this chaos as destructive or as a moment of creation, for example. All right. Ooh, gosh, that's really cool. Okay, now the last pile is the return and what we are to integrate if we are to be successful in releasing and receiving and moving on with our whatever we want in our lives. So the the first card, okay, like I could not make this up if I tried, how the first card of each of these seems completely anathema to what the pile represents. But we are to integrate the Seven of Arches, which stands for sacrifice, the Knight of Flags, which is performing. There's a lot of flags in here. That's funny. And the Ace of Obelisks, which is aspiration. Okay. Let's start with the Seven of Arches because, I mean, really, what's going on here? Sacrifice. Arches, as I mentioned before, are about the actions we take. And what this, okay, so in this card, I don't know if you can, let's see, let me hold it up a little bit more. The guy in the middle is holding a lit bomb. Can you see that? He's holding a lit bomb and is surrounded by all these other people who also want to kill him. But it looks like he's about to take everyone out with the bomb. So therefore, sacrificing himself and defeating the enemy. Now, I'm not saying that we need to integrate this to such a degree that we sacrifice ourselves. In fact, what I'm getting is the exact opposite. Don't freaking do this. Don't do this. You don't have to do this. Okay, so integrate rather than sacrificing yourself, because each of these cards, here's what I've learned about these cards. Whatever is on the surface is true, and whatever is the opposite of that is also true, much like real life. So what I'm getting from this is you don't need to sacrifice yourself. Integrate instead, putting yourself first, taking care of yourself so that you're operating from a place of overflow. So you don't take yourself and everyone else out with you. That's not what we want, right? We want to bring whatever gifts and whatever we want in this world to bear without hurting ourselves, without killing ourselves and taking everyone else out in the process. So let's look at this as almost like a warning, like be aware that you could burn yourself out, and let's not do that. Okay, integrate that into this. Don't burn yourself out. Next, integrate the Knight of Flags, or performing. This picture cracks me up, by the way. I love ballet. I love dance. Ballet is so athletic and gorgeous. And so let's integrate performing. Now, this doesn't mean that you are just, I don't know, like not being real. He is really here and really leaping, and that's kind of awesome. It's about showing what you are capable of. Don't hide yourself right now. Much like, this Three of Flags, receiving that self-expression. Don't hide yourself. The world needs to see you. And then the Ace of Obelisks, or aspiration. Now, obelisks in this deck represent that mental, psychological, spiritual, intellectual side of us. The ace being the pinnacle card in the suit of obelisks. So this means a spiritual aspiration. So this is a time to connect with your higher self and integrate your higher self into your plans. Ooh. Oh gosh, that was cool. How do you do this? How do you do this? One of the ways that I found is really effective is in meditation. For those of you who follow me, I meditate first thing in the morning for 20 minutes before, generally speaking, before I consume anything else. My preference is to meditate for 20 minutes. So I sit in quiet and connect with my divine source. I quiet my mind and open myself up to whatever I need to know that day from the divine. And this Ace of Obelisks, encouraging us to connect with our higher self. One of the ways you can do that is in meditation, call upon your higher self to give you the information you need. Or if that is a little too woo-woo for you, use your imagination. Imagine yourself like 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now. It doesn't have to be real, but use your imagination to get to that place, and then ask your higher self what you need to know to become who they are. All right, let's take a look at what is anchoring this reading, and that is, oh man, this is one of my favorite cards in the whole deck, the Six of Arches, or hesitation. And you know what, Walter, so I interviewed Walter for the podcast, and that'll come out in another 2 weeks, and we talked about this card in particular. And this Six of Arches, okay, let me put this so you can see it. You, if it's your point of view, the woman in the green represents your internal self, and the guy represents your external self, or the one who takes action. And in the middle is the king, or your higher self. We were just talking about that. Um, and between you and everything you want is this, lake of fire, basically. And you're not going to get any help or advice from the people on the other side of the room. You need to make the decision to go or not go. Because ultimately, you can consult with all of these other people, but we have free will. So you get to decide, do I cross the fire or do I not? And that's really what this is all about. And that's what everything's about. Well, I hope this reading has resonated with you. If it did, please let me know. Shoot me a message, comment, whatever format you're watching this video on. Please let me know if this resonated for you and if you would like more of these. This was kind of fun for me. I was a little nervous, I'll be honest. I was a little bit nervous, but this was a lot of fun, and I am certainly taking this message to heart. So I hope you have a great full moon for those of you who connect with that, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.